You try to protect yourself, so I have to rip through you and break the shell to finally see the true you. Thought I knew so well, it happens every time. Caught under your spell, fiction crystallized. I know I should get up and leave. The tears start falling. I love you, but you make me cry, cry. I cry. I love you, but you make me cry, cry. I cry. Dripping with the sweetest nectar that I ever tasted. I wanna stop this, but you know I'd never face it. And I cry, cry. I cry. You tend to be so tempting, but keep me at arm's length, immersed in your hypnosis, willing to suffocate. I know I should get up and leave. The tears start falling. I love you, but you make me cry, cry. I cry. I love you, but you make me cry, cry. I cry. Dripping with the sweetest nectar that I ever tasted. I wanna stop this, but you know I'd never face it. And I cry, cry. I cry. I know I should get up and leave. The tears start falling. I love you, but you make me cry, cry. I cry. I love you, but you make me cry, cry. I cry. Dripping with the sweetest nectar that I ever tasted. I wanna stop this, but you know I'd never face it. And I cry, cry. I cry.
Right on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Today on Spin Cycle Sessions, we have Elthia, who is here by herself and playing very impressive guitar while she's singing. I can barely do one at a time. I don't know. How long have you been playing classical guitar?
I've been playing classical guitar since I was about 10 years old, so it's been 18 years.
Wow, very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I went to college for classical guitar, and yeah, it's just been such a pleasure to perform and play for you guys, so thank you so much for having me.
Now, last song was called I Love You, But You Make Me Cry.
Yes, it is.
And you have a pretty funny story about the inspiration behind that song.
Yeah, I wanted to do a challenge where I essentially was writing about one thing, but it was actually about something else. So essentially, the song is called I Love You, But You Make Me Cry, and it sounds like it's about this really torn apart, broken relationship, but it's really about an onion. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with that, and I think a lot of other people found it very funny as well, which has been a lot of fun for me. So yeah,
I loved it because I totally slipped past me the first time I heard it.
Yeah.
And then when you revealed that, I was watching you on stage at Madame Siam.
Yeah,
and I was like, blew me away. Yeah. I was like, that's such a funny double entendre.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you liked it.
Yeah. Okay, so first question, I guess, is like, how does being a classical guitarist affect the way that you write music? I mean, clearly you're moving all over the fretboard, mm-hmm. but is it something you think about when you are writing a song that, like, you know, every little lick? Or are you starting very basic when you start writing?
It kind of depends. So for I Love You But You Make Me Cry, it started with like the very basic chords. I mostly just had like this pattern. But I was working with a Brazilian guitarist at the time that I was making this arrangement, and I learned a lot about all of these different chords that I could use and like how much fun I could have with just making these little licks and lines. And so, yeah, that's kind of where a lot of the guitaristic stuff came from there. But each of my songs actually has a little bit of classical guitar in it. All of my songs feature guitar harmonics in some way, because I think they're beautiful and ethereal and fun. So all of my recordings do involve that. And yeah, some of the songs kind of start with the lick. So the next one I'm going to play is called Wildfire, and that one does start with the lick. The guitar part is where I like kind of drew all of the inspiration for the rest of the song from. So yeah.
Well, I don't want to hold us up any. Then go ahead and show us what you got.
All right. Dream of a little girl who's sitting on the floor of a cabin while this big wildfire was blazing outside. The little girl was waiting for her mother to come and rescue her from the wildfire, but her mother never came. The two would later search the ends of the earth looking for one another, but as the little girl sat there, she sang this line. This is their story, and it's called Wildfire. Left her letter by the vase. Mother should have been home that night. Her daughter stayed up when the wildfire came, grabbed the note and ran for her life. But the fire burned through the night, burned through the night. She breathed in smoky sunlight, hot-blooded skies. Dragged worn knuckles across new doors, begged for any news of any kind. Every first Sunday she trekked among the low graves, turning stone after stone for a sign. It was the fear of the beast, while fire under her feet kept her awake in the night as she cried, I am broken down without you. I am broken down without you. I am broken down. I am broken down. Found the home her daughter left. Lilacs bloomed where mother wept. At night she sat on the floor by the door, hoping her daughter would find a way home. Still had the scars on her knees from pleading with deities. Mother refused what she knows as she choked, I am broken down without you. I am broken down without you. I am broken down. I am broken down. I am broken down.
That was great.
Thank you.
So the name of that song was Wildfire.
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
Thanks.
My first question is like, did you intend when you first started writing that song to have a spoken word intro? That's such a cool departure.
Thank you. I didn't, but I was talking with a friend about like kind of what to do in shows between songs, and she mentioned this one performance by an artist whose name I do not remember, but she basically was like talking about this one time where she was going to, I think, like the candy shop with some like love interest or kind of something like that. It's like this, you know, maybe like 2-minute introduction, and she's playing the riff the whole time as she's speaking. And I thought that was so cool. And I was like, I bet I could do that for Wildfire. So I wanted to try and incorporate it, and I played it at one of my last shows, and I really liked it. So when I perform it live now, that's what I tend to do, because I don't want to like depart too much from like one song to the next. I don't want to be speaking for a really long time and going on and on about the song. I really want to be able to play the music and be able to tell the story at the same time.
So we're really forcing you in an uncomfortable position now to keep making you ask questions before the songs.
No, it's my pleasure.
Okay, so your last song you're going to play is Medusa.
Yes,
correct?
it is.
And you just had a video for this song come out.
Yes, I did, yeah.
And I hate pre-planning conversations, but we talked about this a little bit. You made an incredibly intricate dress for this video.
Thank you, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So I made 3 costumes for the Medusa music video. To create all of the costumes took about a year. I had the idea for Medusa a really long time ago. I was actually in college at the time when I wrote it, and I just had these like larger than life ideas for what I wanted to do, and I knew they would take a long time, but I'm really, really excited about how they turned out. So one of the ideas for the outfits that I had was inspired by a dress by Iris Van Herpen, who is my favorite fashion designer, and she created one piece that had 3D printed pieces on it onto this like sheer tulle dress, and I just thought it was so beautiful, so mesmerizing, and I wanted to incorporate this into Medusa because I loved the way that the pieces looked like they were just cascading off the model's body, and I wanted to do something similar for Medusa. I wanted to look like scales cascading off my body, so I created this dress. I designed it. I actually took quite a bit of inspiration from Greek architecture. There's one figure called a palmette, which basically, it's like a little palm, but it's like a circle, and it has all of these leaves kind of going out of it. You'll see them all over. If you go to the Getty Villa, you'll see it everywhere, stuff like that. And so I decided that if you took this figure and you turned it upside down, it kind of looked like a Medusa head. It had a head, and it had all of these little pieces coming out of it. And so that's the inspiration for the dress. And so I have 3 of them on the dress, as well as all of these little pieces. And so I took about a year sewing all of these pieces onto the dress. And yeah, I'm really proud of how it turned out. It's on the cover of Medusa, and it's also featured in the music video.
So did you have any like background in costume design before this, or was this just like...
This is the first thing I ever made.
No way!
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I really loved cosplay when I was a teenager. I just like, you know, I'm a guitarist, and I really like just like creating with my hands. So I didn't sew before this, but I did make like props and things like that, and that was super fun. So I did that with a lot of like cosplay when I was in high school, and then I just kind of channeled all of my inspiration with that into creating all of these pieces, including the 15-foot snake tail that I also made for Medusa. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I'm excited to hear this song, and
Thank you.
Thank you so much again for coming in today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. As she makes her way towards you, found somebody to pursue, waiting patiently for your cue. It's predator and prey. You're frozen, holding your breath, wondering what happens next. Is it play or is it death? There's nowhere to escape. They call me Medusa. When I get them all alone, they call me Medusa. When their bodies turn to stone, snake skin drip, amber eyes, toxic lips, preparing your demise. You're frozen, holding your breath, wondering what happens next. Is it play or is it death? The muse is now the threat. They call me Medusa. When I get them all alone, they call me Medusa. When their bodies turn to stone, they call me Medusa. They call me Medusa. Medusa, Medusa, Medusa. She'll have you wrapped around her figure, yeah. Wrapped around her figure, wrapped around her figure, yeah. Medusa, 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 Medusa. They call me Medusa, Medusa, Medusa.